getting over the past, the best way to do that. If I had to say that there were two elements to personal development or self-improvement, it would basically come down to two sorts of people. Number one would be those who are concerned about performance. In other words, they're about success, they're about goal setting, they're about living their best life, peak performance. They want to, like a sports athlete who wants to improve his or her game, or a salesperson who wants to up their numbers, or a corporate person who wants to move up the ladder, that sort of thing. That's performance oriented, peak performance, success. That's one side. The other people are going to be those who are trying to get over their past. It's going to be those who are trying to mend relationships, those dealing with hurts, those dealing with wounds, those dealing with a needed transformation in their life. Maybe they need to get over some bad habit or whatever. These are the two basic people that you are going to encounter under the banner of self-improvement or personal development or motivation or self-help. Those are the two sorts of people you basically run into. Well, my remedy for getting over the pain of the past is actually to combine the two, because I think they both work together. And I think by the end of this series, you're really going to be, you're going to have some truth. You're going to have something that you can really work to move forward in your life finally. And I say that because if you've dealt with any serious pain in the past, it's a very difficult thing to get over. But I think part of the problem that we have getting over the pain of the past is that we focus so much on it. So people, for example, they will go and they will talk to a therapist or a counselor or somebody else, and they want to explore the root of something. They want to explore the reason why. Why did something happen? Why did so-and-so do this to me? How come, and why? Well, oftentimes you may or you may not get that question answered when you counsel with somebody. And if you do, is that really going to lead to any sort of significant change? Or will you remain, as so many people do, in a vicious cycle from which they really never escape? They are always focusing on their wounds. Now, they may feel some measure of improvement in their life because they feel like they have a better understanding of what happened, but ultimately they never really leave. They never really create their best life. Why? Because so much time, energy, and thought is being invested in what happened, being invested in the past. You know, it's interesting, if you watch the way the military deals with things, if you are a new recruit arriving at boot camp for the U.S. Marine Corps, for example, it doesn't matter to them what you've been through, because that drill sergeant is commissioned by the Marine Corps to get you ready in just a matter of weeks from someone fresh off the bus into a fighting machine, someone willing to go into gunfire. Well, how are they going to do that? And let's say the person who gets off that bus, that new recruit, has had a painful past. Dad did something abusive to them, or they experienced some other sort of serious pain in the past. What then? Do you think that Marine drill sergeant is going to give a single ground, a single moment to what happened to that recruit in the past? Absolutely not. In fact, the more the recruit complains of something like that, the more push-ups or punishment that recruit is going to get. Why? Because the military understands that the focus on the past is to focus on the wrong thing. The focus is to get focused on what it's going to take each and every day to transform you into that fighting machine, to take you from civilian to soldier. And so they have no time for your past. There's going to be no empathy for your past, none whatsoever. Now, we live in a culture in which there's everything is focused on empathy. You're supposed to feel bad about everybody. Everybody is supposed to be entitled to sympathy. They need their safe spaces, or you can't use this kind of language anymore because now that's hate speech, or this or that. It's more than just a crybaby culture, man. It's a transformation of the way that we look at life and the way that we look at ourselves. It will not produce better people. It won't. This is going to produce weaker people. It already is. The very fact that you need this sort of coddling is evidence enough that you are already a weaker people. Now you have the luxury to do it. Okay, here I sit in the comfort of my office and home, controlled air conditioning, nice, safe neighborhood I live in. I've got my pets. I've got my family. Everybody's taken care of. There's food in the refrigerator, cars in the garage, everything that we need. We're not in the inner city. We're not living in a third world war-torn country. None of that. So it's easy for me, because there's so much comfort, to start nitpicking at little things and say that I'm offended by this and I'm hurt by that. My whole life is wrecked because of who's in the White House. You have the luxury to be pissed off about who's president. You have the luxury to be pissed off about that, because people in other nations or in situations, they can't worry about that. They don't have time to play the blame game. They don't have time to do all this stuff. They don't have time to coddle their past. They have to survive every day. When you need basic things like fresh water, when you're trying to escape the fact that another tribe in Africa is coming in and killing everybody, you don't have time to complain about leaders. You don't have time to complain about the pain of the past. You don't have time to complain about the fact that half your family was already killed. You just get running. You have to survive. We have the luxury to be weak. We have the luxury to act and behave this way. And so people want to talk a lot about their past. And so they dwell on it. What happened to them? Who hurt them? Okay, it was bad. I understand. It was bad. We can all agree on that. You know it was bad, but it's done. It's gone. Now what? Now that we all acknowledge what happened to you, now what? What are you going to do? Because you bear a responsibility with your life. You owe to yourself an obligation to become everything that you have the power and potential to become, despite what happened to you in the past. Man, that is the central moral question. The duty that you have to answer. Despite what happened to you in the past, you still have the power to become everything you've ever had the potential to be. Don't let the ghosts who haunt you from the past rob you of that. Don't let them rob you of that. You can become everything that you have the power and the potential to become. It's just a series of movements you have to do, daily action steps that you have to do. And they're going to have a net effect and transform the way that you think. And that's what I mean when I said I'm going to combine these two types of people under the heading of self-improvement. Those who are focused on performance and success and that sort of thing, and those who are focused on getting over their past or changing their life in some psychological, personal way. Because the secret is found in the doing. The secret is found in maximizing your life. As I like to say, the best way to get over your past is to create a future that looks like payback for the past. And so that's what we want to do. We want to take you and treat you almost like the drill sergeant does. We're not going to talk about this anymore. We're going to get you into performance. We're going to get you into creating some results so that you can say, hey, look, man, I'm able to get stuff done, achieve goals, and change my life, get rid of bad habits, improve my relationships, make more money, even though I was abused, even though I'm still able to do this. Isn't that what you want anyway? Don't you really just want the results? Don't you just really want the life that you've always wanted? Don't say somebody took it from you. Don't say somebody ruined it for you. Your life is not over yet, man. Your life is not over yet. Change can begin today. Can you dig that? I hope you can.